Okay, so what are cryptocurrencies and why do they exist? So, cryptocurrency is a new form of digital asset based on network that is distributed across a large number of computers. This decentralized structure allows them to exist outside of the control of government and centralized authorities. So, essentially, when you have a fiat currency like the US dollar, are being controlled by a centralized entity, which is the Federal Reserve. So they basically make all the rules and you have to follow by those rules. What you own does not have any intrinsic value whatsoever. And the beautiful part about cryptocurrency is that it allows you to have a peer-to-peer system that is completely open network and decentralized, meaning that no one owns it, but everyone can see it and use it and can't change it, but can participate in it. And this kind of allows us to stray away from government, which is why it's so cool and why I think it's definitely the future, because hyperinflation, tyrannical governments, they cannot interfere with cryptocurrency because it's basically like you can't interfere with it. It's people can openly participate in it and that's it. It's secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. A cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency. So most cryptocurrencies are decentralized networks based on blockchain. And a defining feature of cryptocurrencies is that they are not generally issued by a central authority, which I just talked about, rendering them theoretically immune to government interference or manipulation. So like I was also saying, our government in the US is printing money like it's monopoly money. I think we've printed almost 30% of the entire US dollar supply in 2020. So that's hyperinflation, and cryptocurrency is becoming more and more valuable because people are starting to understand that fiat currencies are not going to be valuable. So what is blockchain and why is it dope? So there's dope things about blockchain, and then there's also bad things about blockchain. If you ask a lot of people, there's a lot of scams going on in the crypto world right now. So you just got to understand the pros and how to avoid the cons. So blockchain is a database that collects information that is stored electronically on a computer. Information or data in the database is typically structured in table format to allow for easier research and filtering for specific information. So every transaction that is completed on a cryptocurrency's blockchain is recorded in a ledger and put into blockchains that increase in size over time and that are mined by individuals using computation power to create the blockchains to store information. It's ever growing and it's completely open source, so everyone can see exactly what's going into the crypto, but no one can change it. So blockchain is a specific type of database. It differs from typical database in the way that it stores information. Blockchain stores data in blocks that are then chained together. So let's say you have a transaction code right here and you have 4 transaction codes going down here. This is all converted into a block, and then these blocks are then linked together, and the code block chain gets chained together so that they're organized and easily accessible to the public and it's completely secure. So the block and contents with them are protected by powerful cryptography, which ensures that the previous transactions with the network cannot either be forged or destroyed. In this way, blockchain technology allows a digital currency to maintain a structured transactional network without relying on a centralized authority. And this is once again the reason why cryptocurrencies are viewed as decentralized. So basically, as the data comes in, it creates a fresh block on the blockchain, and once the block is filled with data, it is changed to the previous block, which makes the data chained together in chronological order. Different types of information can be stored on blockchain, but the most common use so far has been as a ledger for transactions. In Bitcoin's case, blockchain is used in a decentralized way, so no single person or group has control. Rather, all users collectively retain control. Decentralized blockchains are immutable, which means that the data entered is irreversible. For Bitcoin, this means that transactions are permanently recorded and viewable to anyone. Okay, so there's 4 different types of cryptocurrencies, and this is important to understand on a fundamental level. So basically, the first cryptocurrency type is store of value cryptocurrency. So that's going to be something like Bitcoin. Then we have a digital currency. We have a utility token, which is like Ethereum, and then we have a secure token. So we're going to go over each Subsection. So store of value cryptocurrencies are very similar to digital gold. There's a finite amount which creates scarcity, which then causes the asset to appreciate. They aren't used as currencies for tender because they tend to be volatile and transaction speed is too slow to be scalable and cannot be used as a transactional currency. It could be, but it's too slow. So it's basically just a way to store your money. Similar to gold, you can't really pay someone in gold nowadays, even though it still stores value. So it's kind of, think of it as that. Next, there's a utility token. So utility token cryptocurrency is issued in order to fund development of a cryptocurrency and that can be later used to purchase a good or service offered by the issuer of the cryptocurrency. So utility tokens are tokens that have the sole purpose of being used with a closed payment system. As stated in the previous article about Ethereum, utility tokens are at their core not a good investment, which I disagree in right now because we're still in the developmental stage of Ethereum, but it is common misunderstanding that it is that when more people are using a utility token, the token value will rise. Now, that is not the case necessarily, but when you have mass adoption of a utility token like you see with Ethereum, you still have the market cap increasing, which is increasing the price of the cryptocurrency, which is why I am invested 60% into Ethereum if you watch my YouTube videos and have seen my portfolio. But that's a utility token. We have a digital currency. So this is a form of currency that is available only in digital or electronic form and is no physical form. So I guess Bitcoin has no physical form and Ethereum doesn't either, but this is still a subsection that I'm going to talk about. It is also called digital money, electronic currency, cyber cash. I've never heard cyber cash, but I guess that's a thing. Digital currencies are stable and are traded with the markets, whereas cryptocurrencies are traded via consumer sentiment and psychological triggers in price movement. And then finally, we have a secure token. So a secure token is a portable device that authenticates a person's identity electronically by storing some sort of personal information. The owner plugs a security token into a system and grants access to a network service. Security token services STS issued security tokens that authenticate the person's identity. Okay, so now that we kind of have an introduction as to what cryptocurrency is and what blockchain is, we can then get into more technical elements and fundamental elements about cryptocurrencies. But I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what they are and why we trade them, just because if you go into it completely blind, sometimes people don't really know anything about cryptos or what they are in general.